Throughout my 27-year life, something I've learned in the gaming industry is that Atlas rarely misses. Just in the Persona 5 IP alone, with P5RL being arguably the most influential and best video game I've ever played, and Strikers being an exceptionally good follow-up. And now here today, I'm playing the last piece of Persona 5 that I can. This is Persona 5 Tactica. Don't go away. I've had this game physically for almost an entire year. I think personally the reason I haven't played it yet is because I just waited. I didn't want to finish it because once I finish it, that's all I got for Persona 5, but let's get into it. With P5 being turn-based and Strikers being hack and slash 1v100, what does this go for? Well, here we're doing tactical RPG settings. It's different, easy, and honestly, I would be surprised if this wasn't on mobile. Wow, it actually isn't on mobile. That actually is crazy to me. The quick synopsis on this combat is that it is super fun to micromanage. Very low floor, very high skill ceiling. The two #1 things you need to know about the combat here is cover and movement. These are important. During your turn, your characters can move, but not throughout the entire map. You see, each character has a specific number of steps you can take. Haru with the least, as she can only go 4 blocks. Yusuke with the most, which I think 7 is his default. For setting yourself up for strategies and moves you want to complete down the turn, like 3 turns later, movement here is incredibly important. Every single square you move, left, right, up, or down, is so impactful that you really have to think about what you're doing here. And through the mechanics of the cover system, you can move farther than you think. In every level, you see everything that's strewn about here, it acts as cover. If your character is on cover at the end of your turn, he cannot be knocked down. It doesn't matter where the enemy attacks from. If you're literally just on cover against a wall or something and a guy attacks you directly in open area, you're still covered. But the reason why this is so important, so incredibly important, is because if you or the enemy are not in cover and you attack them, you get what the game calls one more, which means when you start your turn, you move up and attack a guy not in cover, and from where you attacked him, your movement resets. So you can move up 6 squares, just get in range for an attack on an uncovered guy, attack him, and get 6 more squares. Meaning, if you can set yourself up hard enough, you can chain link moves throughout the entire map. Some side quests are even designed to teach you this, like this one. I had to get from one point of the map to the other in one turn, chain linking downs the whole way through. At first glance, it seems impossible, but once you know the mechanics, the skill ceiling is high.
Nice one! Keep it up, Joker! It's ready. Show me what you got. I'll give it my all! There'll be no mercy! What?
For every turn I took, I literally sat there for a good minute or two and thought about, how can I maximize my efficiency of this one move? How can I utilize the level design, where enemies are located, and where my allies are going to be to do the best thing I can here? Now, I won't lie. The first half of this game, the gameplay is just too incredibly simple for me. Because every level is essentially a combat puzzle of you trying to figure out the best way to efficiently cleanse it, well, the first half of this game, there just isn't enough mechanics here to make this combat puzzle interesting. It wasn't until later on when you get new level mechanics like moving platforms and new enemy mechanics. That's when you have so many different mechanics shaking up that every move has literally like 15, 20, 25 different ways it could go. But there are 3 big reasons here why I think the combat in Persona 5 Tactica by the end of the game, I just really warmed up to it. The first being a super simple one, a rest system. Because mechanics like movement is so important, you would think, wow, you should just play Yusuke, who has the highest mobility of the crew, every time. Well, if you play characters in back-to-back combat scenarios, which you only have 3 at a time on your team, they get tired and the people you sat get rested. So if I play Joker, Morgana, and Anne in one turn, the next turn everyone else will be automatically boosted and the 3 I played will be tired, incentivizing you to not run back-to-back teams. The second big reason why this combat works: every single affinity has a different effect to it. Other than the super standard melee attack and the really important in this game gun attack, as usual your personas come equipped with the usual moves. But those moves aren't here for damage reasons mostly, they're here for mechanic reasons. Using a wind attack as Morgana will flip the enemy backwards a few spaces, landing him out of cover. Using a Psy attack as Haru pulls the enemy towards the user. Using a nuke attack as Makoto pulls all the enemies close to where the attack happened. Yes, persona moves in this game aren't merely an option for damage, they are an option to change up the landscape of the enemy's positioning. And the third and final thing that I think really makes this combat fun is the all-out attack. Once you down an enemy, if you can have him in the middle of a 3-man triangle formation, that's all you gotta do. You down an enemy, your 3 characters on the map have to form a triangle. They all have a line connected to each other. If the enemy's in the middle of that, you can then perform an all-out attack. And it doesn't just hit the enemy you downed, anything within that triangle gets kind of obliterated. Due to this fact, my strategy in a lot of combat scenarios was actually to spread out my characters as humanly far as possible. Therefore, if I can manage to get it down, my all-out attack would span almost the entire map.
I'll do my best.
Oh,
I'll get you back for that.
now then. All right.
All right, we have the whole lobby here. I'm gonna get fucked.
It's showtime.
Now, we've come this far. We've talked about the combat a lot. Let's talk about the other half of Persona games, the story. And Atlas really has an amazing track record with its story and character writing. It's kind of actually ridiculous. P5 providing some of the craziest twists in gaming and story complexity that I've ever seen. P3 has arguably the best ending I've ever seen. In Persona 5 Strikers, Atlas showed its ability to write in characters to an already preset group with Sophia, and it feels just right at home. And here, they combine all of their mastery skills of that into one game. 2 new characters come in. Arena, who comes in flying hot. That was a crazy powerful attack. And she stays hot on the iron the entire game. Great character start to finish.
Persona!
Kasukabe, on the other hand, we have to talk about him because the entire game revolves around him, literally. Sparing the intro details, you end up in the metaverse, aka Kasukabe's cognition. This is his mind, this is what his world is. He's just a normal politician guy. He is also a beta yes man whose wife bosses him around as if he is a puppet. Think I'm joking? Jodan janai desu. The entire first arc of this game is fighting against his cognition wife who orders and beats him around. After that, you go into the second kingdom and then the third kingdom, and it's all revolving around Kasukabe's life. And I can't lie, I just wasn't feeling this guy in the first 2 kingdoms, really. Even at the end of the second kingdom, I'm thinking, I just don't like this guy. But trust in Atlas, here they come. By the time you hit the third arc, the third kingdom, the way they blended in the story of Arena into Kasukabe was absolutely beautiful. It was just amazing.
But if you can find a way to keep fighting, to hold on to that will for change instead of regretting it, then I promise I'll catch back up to you one day, and we'll keep making this world better.
It is kind of really impressive to me that you take a already known group of the Phantom Thieves that you've spent so many hours with, and time again you're able to implement new characters into the group and have them implemented so well that it feels empty without those characters being there. Presentation. Listen, I've talked about how Atlas is always so good with the story and characters, but worldwide, Atlas is known for this category. And in terms of the soundtrack, it's actually ridiculously good.
Taking up the challenge. Norma been a part of the play. Nearly over the edge. Graduating from.
You look at this game, look at this chibi art style game, bonus banging soundtracks. I have a personal playlist of soundtracks from games that I've literally been running through for like over like 12 years now. I listen to this playlist a lot. It's where I get the soundtracks from my Easter egg at the end here. And let me tell you, I literally just added like 9 tracks from this game. I had troubles writing my review out for this game because I was listening to the track while writing it. And I just got caught up like listening to the music multiple times.
Talk about love, prepare to be sure. I might have got on the nerve. Be careful, let's be fearful. Going off.
Atlas always has soundtracks that, unless you've played the game, you really don't know, because you play the game, you're like, wow, this soundtrack's awesome. You finish the game and you listen to the soundtrack and it's like, I'm right back in that moment. I miss this. The rest of this game, looks-wise, for P5 Tactica, is really good, but let's talk about the elephant in the room. This game is styled differently than the rest, and I don't like it. Very easy to tell here if you've seen anything Persona related. This game went for the chibi art style. And you think, wow, I've spent, 120 hours in P5, 50 hours in P5 Strikers, 170 hours combined with these specific characters and designs. Why change it now? I think it must have just been easier and cheaper, honestly. And you think, wow, this game, Tactica, for me was 27 hours. By the end of it, you're probably used to the chibi art style. No, I never got used to it and I never liked it. In fact, I kind of just kept wishing that they would change back to the normal art style. Like, look at this behind the scenes stuff here of art of Kasukabe and Arena. Look at their chibi form and then look at their usual Persona style. Man, if this game had the original Persona style, I'm literally talking like this is just as good as Strikers in the original P5. But everything else that you know of from Atlas games, the great sound effects, the interesting and dynamic menu systems here, sound effects across the board, everything is really clean. I just can't get over that chibi style. Overall impact, my overall opinion for Persona 5 Tactica, you know, I really warmed up to this game in the second half. That first half, you see the chibi style, you see the extremely simple mobile style gameplay is what I'd call it. And you're like, okay, you got Kasukabe as the main story arc guy who is getting bossed around by his wife. That's his story arc. But the longer you go, the more mechanics you go through, which I still have not talked about. A lot of them, actually, including the Velvet Room. How have I not talked about this yet? Yes, the Velvet Room is back. And much like all other mechanics and styles in this game, it's a little bit watered down compared to a fully fledged Persona 5 game. But the fusion element is here, you can craft weapons. Overall, you're still spending hours in the Velvet Room. Plus, Lavenza in this game is hilarious.
By the way, that outfit, is that also the mysterious being's fault?
It is a new outfit,
No,
at least the front.
I merely thought, under the circumstance, I could perhaps dress more fittingly to theme.
Okay.
What do you think? Does it suit me?
I mean, how much work is she gonna do in this Velvet Room?
Does it suit me?
Nearing the end here, my closing statement on Persona 5 Tactica is this. I think literally just looking at it on paper, looking at the code of the game, it's a pretty simple chibi style game that I'm still surprised is not on mobile, that you really only spend 2 places in. You'll only ever find yourself in what I would call interactive novel segments where you just get characters plastered on the screen in text that is about 80% voice, or you'll find yourself in combat. That's literally the only 2 scenarios you'll find yourself in here, unless you're in the development room. You know, the story isn't as interactive as previous installments, but games aren't purely judged based off of what they are on paper, based off of what they are in code. No, video games are a collective of experiences from start to finish, resulting in the player going yay or nay. Out of all the ingredients that can go into making a video game, Atlas just puts something in that cooking pot that makes games memorable. And while this is by far not the most interactable game I've played, I think memorability is one of the absolute most important factors a game can have. The staggeringly great music, the character and story writing that'll have your mouth hanging wide open while you watch some of these cutscenes. This is crazy! Yusuke. Yeah, the only fucking guy here could do that. I can't lie, that first half of the game I wasn't feeling it, and if a friend asked me, hey, should I play P5 Tactica? I love P5, I would have said, I don't know, but finishing the game, seeing that second half and really exploring the mechanics in and out, the story completed and finished, yeah, I definitely warmed up to this game. I would recommend it. And I would give P5 Tactica an 8.5 out of 10.
You know we'd never let it up. You know we'd never turn a blind eye.
So that's it. P5 Tactica is down. I am T-minus, what, 5 days away from the release of Resident Evil 9. I'm going to be there minute one, not day one, minute one. Expect a review up for RE9 as soon as possible. Listen, I'm playing through that game multiple times. Let me cook with that game. I might try to play a GameCube game or something in between just to get something out, but I don't know. We'll see what time says. For now, I'm your host, Beneath the Mask, of Just Review. So,
Do this.
I'll show no nice red. Nice cut. This'll be a direct hit. We got a hit. That'll send him off flying. I've no complaints about that victory.
I know you're here to find out the Easter egg soundtrack that I put in at the end of every video, but did you know that I have a Buy Me a Coffee page? A page where you can donate to your favorite YouTube creator. Half of the money that's donated to that page is personally donated back to Child's Play Charity, a charity that's dedicated to supplying games and technology to children in hospitals around the world. So that's that. Did you guess the soundtrack?